My name is Richard Scherberger, and I lived at 113 Hope Street here at Fort Kamehameha in Hawaii from 1966 to 1968. This is the first time since then I've been back here to see these quarters. I'm absolutely astounded by what I see. It's a ghost town. It's left in ruins. It's been abandoned and horribly vandalized. And this is not just on Hope Street, it's throughout all of Fort Kamehameha. Apparently a decision was made several years ago to turn this over to the U.S. Air Force, and they promptly decided that it was too dangerous because of the flight path and other kind of bureaucratic reasons and policies, and so they made the decision to close it. And I think ultimately they have plans to destroy it. I wanted to revisit this, and I want to walk out down to the quarters that we lived in and walk around the quarters and go inside them to see just what remains.
For people who are not familiar with where we are, we're at Hickam Airfield in Hawaii, correct?
Right. This is adjacent to Hickam Air Force Base in Hawaii, which is part of Joint Pearl Harbor Hickam. It's a joint base now in Fort Kamehameha. At one time was a U.S. Army coastal artillery post. This set up to defend the bay right out here, and then it was turned over once the need for coastal artillery ended. It was turned over to residents. The Army used it to have residents, family members, and families stay here. This is 113 Hope Street, which I'm looking at now. You can begin to see just the vandalism, the broken windows, the torn out screens. The lush vegetation, which once was here, now is gone. And I can see where we once had a coconut tree in our front yard. That's also gone as well. I want to walk up here and just take a look around.
Can you talk a little bit about your father, Colonel Richard Scherberger Sr., United States Army? He served in 3 wars. Over 30 years, came from a, I believe, 6 Blue Star family.
Right. We lived in Hawaii from 1966 through 1968 during the Vietnam War. Dad was stationed up at Camp Smith. He was involved in logistics and resupply of the war with respect to ammunition. We lived here. He lived up at. He worked up at Camp Smith. He spent 33 years in the Army. World War II, Korea, Vietnam veteran. He retired in 1972 as a colonel. And his mother was what we call a Blue Star mother, but she had 6 children at one time who were serving during World War II, and so she had a 6 Blue Star flag. What you'll be able to hear overhead now is allegedly one of the reasons why they closed this. The passenger aircraft, that's a Delta flight. And one of the reasons they said was the noise. They, meaning the Air Force, they wanted to close us because of the noise levels as well as the danger being in the flight path. And I can just assure you that while we lived here, we grew used to the noise and didn't even hear it after a while. And to my knowledge, no airplane has ever crashed here except for the ones that were shot down during the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Camp Smith is a hike from here. So my assumption is that your mother and your siblings were here mostly by themselves, except when your dad came home late at night at the end of the duty day. I know your mother lives now in Norfolk, outside of Norfolk, and the planes still fly over her house. And at, what, 93? She says, "Listen, Vicki, that's the sound of freedom."
That's right.
So I can understand why she was used to the noise.
Right.
Now, who exactly lived in these quarters?
In the quarters were my father and my mother, myself, the oldest son, my next older brother, John, my sister Kathy, my brother Tom, and my youngest sister Suzanne. So there was a family of 7 living in these quarters.
And the age range was, you were in college to how old was Suzanne?
Suzanne, when we left here, was probably 5 or 6. So it just, you know, a wide age range. I want to walk around the house now so we can see what's here before we go in.
The house itself is U-shaped, and it looks like a main living area and then 2 wings on each side. Correct?
Correct. That's correct. You can begin to see this is how the house is turned into. Still some green bushes, but not as lush as it once was.
And we're about 2 rows of quarters over from the ocean?
We're 2 rows of quarters over from the ocean. The ocean is just less than 100 meters from here. In fact, we can see it as I look through the woods. As we get to the back, you can see where some of the windows have been replaced with plywood. We get to the back of the house as I make a slow turn here. We used to have a garage where we worked in. That now is gone, as you can see. This has just been really ignored and dilapidated.
Richard, you're a retired Army officer, Lieutenant Colonel. You've been a DPCA, you've run huge organizations. What is it like for you to see quality in this condition at a military installation?
The thing that crosses my mind is how on a secure installation is this kind of vandalism and damage and destruction allowed to occur. These were one time beautiful quarters, and now they just sit rotting. It's for me. It's just rather heartbreaking to take a look at what's happened to the post. I know many people. There are lots and lots of memories for many, many families at Fort Kamehameha. Hawaiian Airlines. And as you get back here, you can begin to see how the windows have been broken. screens are gone. And underneath the house is wide open. So this is what the front of the house looks like, or the front yard. And then we'll begin to take a closer look at the front. You can see the screens are torn down and fallen out. And I would say that at one time, this beautiful home is now just a mess. Take a look up here. Someone has actually taken a brick and thrown it through the front window. We'll walk up here now and go into the house. This is the front door. You can see the numbers 113. That's the address, 113 Hope Street. And apparently, sometime later, the house number was changed to 3321. So as we walk up the front stairs here, we walk into what we refer to as the lanai, which was like the front porch enclosed. In here we had a living room. Well, we had a sofa and television and a couple other chairs. Where the family would gather to watch TV. Let me take a spin around here so you can get an idea of what it's like. And we can walk through these doors here into the living room. You can see how the front window has been torn out. Over here we used to have our stereo. Beautiful furniture we had in here at one time. We go back in here. This room here served as the dining area, the dining room. And again, you can see evidence of where rocks have been thrown through here to break the windows.
Richard, can you get some pictures of the beautiful cabinetry?
Yeah, let me see if I can do this. It's really kind of dark in here, but we can get these to come out. Let me pull this back here. So there's a place where we'd have displayed our china and whatnot. And there's another one over on this side as well. And then, as we walk in here...
If we were on a home and garden TV show,
right,
I can hear the realtor saying, notes the elaborate trim work, the plant shelf, and the cabinetry for all of your collectibles. Because there really is some great structure and great construction to include the ceiling beams and really a nice kind of early beadboard finish on the walls.
And as we walk in this kitchen, I can recall the times I spent on my hands and knees scrubbing the kitchen floor, getting rid of the boot and heel marks. This is a kitchen cabinet. Here's where a stove used to be. I can remember standing by the stove, standing in front of the stove cooking. The kitchen sink. Little area right here, storage area. Remember back in here, this is the area where my father one time he made some rice wine and stored it back here. It wasn't very good as I recall, but of course I probably tried it before it was done. We'll walk out here to this part. This is the area when we first moved in here. This was my bedroom. Seems a whole lot smaller now. And back in here is the shower. Quite a mess now. Evidence of people who have come in here and left water bottles and sleeping bag or blanket or something. And this part here was the laundry room, bathroom, laundry, kitchen sink. And we walk out here, back out this way. And this returns us to the kitchen. So what I would like to do now is to walk out this side door here. If I can get it open. This is a U-shaped house, so we're going to walk out this wing here, walk across the little court here to the other wing. And at one time, this place was plush with mango and bananas. Come out here and pick our bananas and mangoes or anything else, and now it's all gone. So now we walk up these stairs into the other wing of the home and walk down this way, and we go into what was my brother John's bedroom, and over here is a closet, closed closet, some shelves here, and still it's falling apart. And I'm going to walk down this way. This was the bathroom. I won't show you a picture of inside the toilet. I'll spare you that pain. And then we walk down this way, back down the hallway, away from the direction of my brother's bedroom, to a center bedroom here. And you can see on this door this has been kicked out. There's a sleeping bag, so someone's been staying here. And this is the puzzling thing. How does this occur on a secure military facility? This kind of damage, this kind of vandalism. This is just, it's horrible. Then I walk down here. This here is a closet, linen closet perhaps. And this is the room where my parents slept. And again, on the floor, you can see a brick that's been thrown through the window. This is just vandalism, plain and simple. What once were beautiful, beautiful quarters and a beautiful housing area and a wonderful, wonderful environment has just been neglected and left to rot. And it's unfortunate that this has been allowed to occur. So we'll walk down this hallway here, turn right back into what was the living room, dining room area. You can see how spacious and open it is, and what a wonderful place this was for a family and for families to be. This is 113 Hope Street, Fort Kamehameha, Hawaii. I'm going to walk down the street very quickly just to show you what the other quarters were like. As you can notice back, we've secured the front door. Sort of ironic, we do our best to close the front door, but anyone else can get in. These are the quarters at 112 Hope Street, right next to 113, and you can see the window is open, been broken, probably a rock thrown through it. This is where a friend of mine lived. His name is Charlie Reed, and he and I went to University of Hawaii together.
So we're in another set of quarters now, and they appear to be laid out the same way. And just to give you an idea, there are cars coming down the road all the time. I've counted about 30 cars just in the length of time we've been here, coming down and passing these quarters in the few minutes we've been here. So it's not like we're in a very isolated place.
This is Worcester Avenue, still part of the Fort Kamehameha experience. It's on the intersection of Memorial Bay Drive, which is the road that cuts through the center here. But Worcester Avenue I used to refer to as the Fort Kamehameha's Main Street. Again, some beautiful quarters on this street as well, and walk down and take a look at a few and see similar experiences. There are some of you who may see this video who lived at Fort Kamehameha, Fort Cam as we call it. I'm on Worcester. This particular set of quarters is 21 Worcester. I'll walk up in here and see what they look like. Not as bad off as the ones on Hope Street. As I walk in, there's still a familiar layout, same sort of thing. In the back, screens have been pulled out. Same wonderful ornate shelving. This door has been pulled out. This has been torn down. Looks like someone's had a good time in here. Walk back here toward the other wing. See where the screens and blinds have been torn down. Again, similar findings. Of course, in the back, away from the main view, this window has been broken into with a rock. And as you look these quarters in the back, and you can possibly see right there in the middle, the playground equipment. What you're looking at is the back of the quarters on Hope Street. This is Mamala Bay, behind, or that runs alongside or in front of, depending on your perspective, of Fort Kamehameha. What I'm looking at there is a submarine coming into the harbor. This was a really wonderful place to be. A friend of mine, one of my good friends, lived on Worcester, and I'm at the back of it, that rock Worcester. John Schott and I would come out here, and while we were students at the university, come out here and do homework. And our homework consisted of drinking beer, listen to the Temptations and the Four Tops, and just telling lies about everything. It was a wonderful place to be. It's a wonderful place to have as part of my growing up time as an Army brat. And I know many of you who are watching this now who lived at Fort Cam can identify with exactly what I'm saying. I wish there was something that could be done to bring this back, to put the heart and the soul back into this place. But as it is right now, what we have left are our memories and our dreams.